Hi everyone, we have with us here Nikhil Advani, the director of D-Day. Your film is about a group of four raw agents going into Karachi and bringing India's most wanted terrorist back to the country. Who came up with that idea?
I think it was who came up with the idea. I think Twitter, Facebook, people talking all the time. When on the 2nd of May, when Osama thing happened, Osama bin Laden capture or killing or whatever we call it happened, and the chatter was everywhere. My driver asked me this question. Everybody thinks I'm making a joke about it, but it's the truth. He said, "अगर US कर सकते हैं, तो हम लोग क्यों नहीं कर सकते?" Something struck. I happened to meet Ritesh Nair and Suresh Nair and Ritesh Shah that day, and we started chatting, and I said, "Yeah, what do you think about this idea? Let's try and do this." And they jumped at it. They were waiting for somebody to give them the option to do this. So yeah, it was very collaborative actually. We just started talking about it.
You know, that's interesting because in a movie like Zero Dark 30, the entire nabbing of Osama bin Laden has sort of reached its culmination, and there is hence a believability factor there. You think in D-Day, I know it's a fantasy, and that's probably one of the film's USPs, that it gives you what maybe can't happen in real life. But do you think that comes in the way of the viewer of entirely enjoying the film because somewhere at the back of the head you know that this might never come true?
Well, I live in hope. No, in the sense that I don't know. I wasn't thinking about those things. I was thinking of making a film which I thought that needed to be made at this time, primarily because I think that the youth of this country is asking very relevant questions. They are no longer wanting to just lie back and take any kind of answer. I mean, whether it is anything, whether it is scams, whether it is, look at Anna Hazare, you look at all the everything that has been over the last 5-6 years, things that have been happening. I think that is also somewhere reflected in the kind of films we are making.
Right.
That people are, that niche that we were talking about has become so much bigger now. So I was not even thinking whether it's going to happen, not happen. Oh wow! Like I said earlier, at Zero Dark 30, we didn't even know we made. Obviously, we knew somebody would make it,
Yeah.
and that Hollywood would jump at it right now. So it was a story. Bound to happen, especially after the second one. But at that time when we started writing it, we had no clue that what Zero Dark 30 was. In fact, when I conceived D-Day, or rather while we were discussing it in the production stage, the film was going to open like Zero Dark 30,
Right.
which is the just a black, and you just hearing screaming and radio and police siren and police chatter about the 1993 blast.
Right.
And from there it was going to take off, and then when I saw Zero Dark 30, that's something that I had to give up.
Coming back to D-Day, when you're talking about the scripting, you've woven a lot of plot points around real life events. Like you said, you referenced the 93 bomb blast. There's also a reference to the 26/11 terrorist attacks. But when it comes to taking the name of the character, it's a fictional name. Although you're talking about Dawood Ibrahim. Is there a specific reason for something like that?
No, because I just felt it's not important. I just felt that because it would take away from the rest of what I was trying to say in the film, because it would just go into another space. Having not taken the name and having gone out of my way to try and move the film away from this whole gangster kind of film that we are so used to calling any film to do.
D films as well.
The D films kind of thing. It still has. I still got stuck with it. In fact, till about 5 days ago, people in the know are telling us that you need to move the marketing away from the gangster film into the more war and soldiers and patriotism kind of zone and all that. So yeah, that's the reason why we said that it's not important.
Casting decisions, why Rishi Kapoor? I know you worked with him before in Patiala House, so I guess there was some sort of a rapport going there. But why did you consider other actors before zeroing in on Rishi?
No, I just kept thinking of who were the various names that I could have probably approached for this kind of role. Mr. Nasiruddin Shah was one thing that I was thinking about. I wanted a very strong kind of character. But then, because I had worked with him in Patiala, because I knew the kind of mind space that he was in and what he was trying to, and what he wanted to do with his so-called second innings in his career. When I saw Agnipath, I knew that he actually, I thought that Agnipath was a big mistake and he should not have been cast in that role, because he kept saying that his audience and his image does not allow people to look at him in a negative space. The audiences today, may not have seen the kind of films that I have seen. Growing up with Mr. Rishi Kapoor. So for them, he started off only probably with No Duni Char and whatever, and Patiala
and stuff like that.
That kind of stuff.
Now, some of the other cast members, there's been a lot of buzz on Twitter about Sriswara, this new actor who's been cast opposite Irfan in the film. And you've got an interesting ensemble in place. Of course, there's Mukesh Chhabra as a casting director. So, I mean, what kind of a synergy was there in terms of casting? Who took the major calls? How did that work out?
Mukesh is very, he's very astute in the sense of knowing, this. He looks at faces first of all, and he looks at accents, and he wants to make sure that the person gets the accent correct, and he doesn't want to and he goes away from casting the normal person. He wants to cast off the grain all the time. In the case of Sriswara, we knew that this character and her vulnerability and the fact that she should not be recognizable. She should be completely fresh, because otherwise you will not, if you will never feel for her.
Right.
So we knew we wanted somebody new and fresh, but again the risk is that will she be able to pull off being opposite Irfan Khan?
Right.
And we looked at actors from Iraq, Iran, Turkey. We went through the whole Khan's list, saying, okay, this person, Irani actor. We sent messages out. Some messages came back. We looked at Turkish actors, Iranian actors of Iranian descent and Turkish descent from LA, from UK also. And then finally, he one day just turned out and said, look at this.
Right. Now, the sense you're getting from the trailers is it looks like a really slick film, right? It seems like it's styled like a Hollywood action thriller. It's got cinematography by Tushar Kanti Ray, the editor's Arif Sheikh. It looks like it has great sound as well. Was that a very conscious decision in terms of picking crew members who could maybe sort of deliver in that kind of a space?
The pick of the crew members was firstly decided by the budget. So I didn't have the kind of budget to pick up the so-called A-list technicians. It's just in the case of Tushar, he was Ranjit's buddy.
He had shot Dhobi Ghat.
He had shot Dhobi Ghat. He had shot Shore in the City. He had done a couple of ad films with Ruchi Narayan, who had worked with in Israq Ki Subani.
Right.
So Ranjit showed me Shore, and I was completely blown.
But were there any references while making the film? Any Western references?
There's a lovely documentary on BBC called Secret Pakistan.
Okay.
Which was the reference, and then I showed in Mighty Heart, which was the Michael Winterbottom film.
Right.
Which again Irfan was
Irfan,
there. Yeah, with Angelina Jolie. So I showed him that. We also saw Welcome to Sarajevo, the kind of grittiness and that kind of. And then of course was Paul Greengrass. Just the fact that how he had handled United 93
right.
and then the second and third installment of the Bond films,
Right.
I just wanted to get that kind of zone. And then once Tom Struthers came on board, we also knew that we could go to the more blood diamond kind of space rather than a
Mighty Heart sort of overall Mighty Heart kind of space. Right. You've made 6 films now, and you would agree that since Kal Ho Na Ho, it's been a sort of a bumpy ride, because Delhi Safari won you the National Award last year. But would you say that, with D-Day, maybe you've found the kind of space as a filmmaker that you'd sort of launch off now?
When I saw Delhi Safari, what immediately struck me is that the honesty that the film had. It had a wonderful quality of just being what it promised to be, which is on the script. It
right.
promised to be this film, and it was that. And I realized that was because I had not burdened it with my insecurities and my so-called manipulations, which was going on in my life.
Or need to cater to a larger audience.
Or need to cater to a larger audience. And I looked at it, and it was a revelation for me. And at that time, luckily for me, I was just writing D-Day. I was just getting ready to start writing D-Day. And I said that I need to now be honest.
Right.
So I think that going forward, whether it's a love story, whether it's a comedy, whether it is again an action film or a political, whatever I'm trying to do, I want to try and keep it as honest as possible.
But 20 years, now 20 years old in the industry, what can we expect from Nikhil Advani in the future?
I don't know, yaar. I just hope that what D-Day allows, what D-Day will allow me to do is work with interesting actors. Again, there are people that I want to continue working with. Tushar Kanti Ray, one of them. Mukesh Chhabra, the other one. Mano Sikka, somebody that I use as a bouncing board and just in okay to takes. Irfan, Arjun. So I just feel that I want to try and do interesting stuff. Ritesh, Suresh Nair. I've always worked with Shankar Ehsaan. I think that again Niranjan has found, I've found what I wanted as a lyrics writer with this film. That's what I want to try and do with the younger directors, with different directors. I've always wanted, Aniruddha, when Anurag or Vikram or Navdeep or Imtiaz, or the Tigmanshu, all these guys, when they were struggling, there was only one place that they could come to where the food was being made. It was my house. It was my office. And so I wanted to, basically I knew that could make the big ones, and I would give them the option to make the smaller ones and make the films that they wanted to make. Today I think that I need to do that also. So, and I just want to make films which have a voice, which have some kind of voice. I think Delhi Safari had it, I think D-Day has it, and I want to do it with the rest of it.
Nikhil, we wish you the best of luck and thanks a lot for being with us here tonight.
Thank you.